What's going on, peeps? My name is Simon, and you're watching Soundwave TV, transforming your video experience. I just got through seeing Hidden Figures the other day. It is a very well done film, and I'm just going to give you a few of my takeaways from the movie. Hidden Figures is such a necessary movie because we know very little about the history of NASA. You know, these three women that are the focus of the movie, Catherine Goebel, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson. But we know very little about the history of NASA, like how it was founded, why it was founded. Like, I didn't even know they had operated out of Virginia, because I always connected NASA with Cape Canaveral and the space shuttles. They do operate out of Florida, but I didn't recognize they had such a big part to do with Virginia history as well. You know, all I really know about NASA is John Glenn and Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. And, you know what I'm saying, for the life of me, I couldn't tell you who founded NASA, you know, if, like, my life depended on it. So I want to learn more about the history of the space administration. That's, you know, the history buff in me wants to know that. It's a very timely movie. It takes place during the 60s, during the space race. And the whole setup, we're trying to keep pace with the Russians because they got Sputnik into space before we could get into space in the United States. And now it seems like we have beef with the Russians again. You know, the whole hacking situation, you know, cyber warfare. Now, one of the recurring sequences of the movie is Catherine's character, Catherine Goebel, who was played by Taraji Henson. You know, she's going back and forth between her building where she's working over to the other building that's like half a mile from where she's working at, because, you know, she's trying to go to the bathroom. And you know, it's kind of like a, you know, you can see it could be a little funny. It's funny and sad at the same time. You know, she's fidgeting and playing with her glasses or whatever. But you know, it's just crazy that you have all these geniuses working there, and none of them put two and two together to figure out, no, she's not at her station because she's trying to go to the bathroom, because you've got two separate bathrooms and one of them that she can't use. And even while she's you know, doing the business, you know, she's calculating the figures, because, you know, at the time a computer was there was a job. You know, computers weren't always machines. You know, all the calculations were done by hand, manually, you know, with a human brain. So, and I like how the fact that even though these are women of science, these are they're STEM professionals, you know, they have these full lives. You know, they're active in their church, and they have they have husbands, they have children. And, you know, they even have the house party. I like the house party scene that they had. You know, when they were trying to put Colonel Johnson and Catherine Goebel together. You know, I like how everything feels like the 60s. Like, it takes place in the 60s, like, even down to the cars that were used. And I always wonder, when they do movies that are set, like, in different time periods, like, where do they even find, like, the police cars? Or that police car is, like, modeled after the 60s cars. And they got the one, you know, you see, like, the regular cars. You see them driving around. You see those like, car shows. But I know, I always wonder, like, where they get police cars. I'm trying to think here. You know, now, Octavia Spencer, she's very good in this role, but, you know, it seems like she's always doing, like, back in the day, like, she does The Help, and I think she was in Get On Up, and she's got a lot of talent, and I don't want her to get stuck as period piece lady. So, they don't show a lot of her love life. Now, you see Mary Jackson, Mary Jackson, who's played by Janelle Monáe. You see her and her husband, and you see one of the main story arcs is Catherine Goebel and Colonel Johnson, played by Mahershala Ali, He also plays Cottonmouth in Luke Cage, and you see together, but you don't really see Octavia and her husband together, in a loving sort of way, and that's a kind of a lost opportunity to me. And also, they don't really Catherine Goebel, she's a widow, and they don't really explain anything about the first husband. They have 3 children together. That's a pretty long, significant amount of time, and they don't really say anything about him, and that just seems like a plot hole to me. I guess I could look it up on my own time at my leisure, but I thought that's something they just it didn't really have to go with like a deep, detailed flashback about it, but just a couple of lines of dialogue would explain what happened to the first husband. Anyway, Janelle Monáe is a wonder on screen, and she was in another movie that recently came out, Moonlight. I want to go see Moonlight, but she's got like the firecracker. She's like the Spitfire of the group, the smack talker, and hopefully this will open up more roles for her in the future. And the movie shows like the classy yet strong resistance against all the indignities they were facing. Just wanting to go to the library. You see, Dorothy Vaughan and her kids getting kicked out of the library. She's got to go and get the programming book so she can learn about the IBM, so that her and the women that she works with, in the segregated color section of the NASA, can just keep pace and compete. You see Mary Jackson, she has this brilliant scientific mind, but she's got to beg and plead just to take night classes, extension courses at Hampton High. She's taking segregated classes at a high school when she's got this brilliant scientific mind and trying to help the country, through the science department. And you also see the basic indignity, just wanting to drink out of the same pot of coffee. Like they had a colored coffee pot, like really, and didn't even bother to like fill it up or leave cream and sugar for her, and it just leave cream and sugar for Catherine's character. So yeah, and the supporting cast is good in the movie. Kirsten Dunst does a not terrible Southern accent. I want to do another separate video about how Southern accents in movies can be very terrible, like very like Yosemite Sam, very exaggerated, but her Southern accent actually sounds convincing. You got Jim Parsons doing Jim Parsons thing. He plays the smart, kind of annoying weasel like he does on Home and like he does on Big Bang Theory. Kevin Costner's got a good part, and he reminds us that he was a big star at one point, and hopefully this will open up some more roles for Kevin Costner, because he's definitely a good actor, and he's a good actor, and hopefully there'll be more parts for him in the future. Mahershala Ali, he plays a good part in Colonel Johnson, and he's going to be that dude. He's going to be around for a while, between Luke Cage and Moonlight and this movie. So there's going to be hopefully there'll be a lot for him coming up in future roles. Hey, the guy that played John Glenn, he didn't have a whole lot of lines in the movie, but the guy that played John Glenn, he was pretty good. And hey, since old boy that's playing Captain America, I think here, I cannot think of the guy's name. Anyway, the guy that played Captain America in Avengers, he said he don't want to come back, so hey, get him. He kind of looks the part. He kind of looks like Captain America, so go with him. Now, I'm not a big math and science person, so it kind of drags a bit when in some places when they're doing the explanations, but I guess it's sort of like necessary since the movie's about the space race and everything. But just over like the little pickup page, because I'm assuming that most of the people going to the movie aren't rocket scientists, but but definitely as as a historical piece, I'm a history buff, so I liked everything that I saw in the movie, and a couple of plot points and a little bit of dragging. That's my only my only nitpick, but otherwise very good film. Go see it. It's the #1 movie in the country, so I'm assuming that most of you are probably watching this video have already gone to see it or are planning to go see it. So leave in the comments down below, what did you think of Hidden Figures? Who's your favorite actor in the movie. And check out my other videos and subscribe to my channel if you're so inclined. Until next time, this is Soundwave signing off. Peace.